If you've got a revision problem, if you feel nobody can help you, it's time to contact the A-Team. Welcome, my name's Colonel John Hannibal Smith, ex-US Army via Barrow in Furness. And when I'm not defeating redneck gangsters, I'm actually a geography teacher at the Brunts Academy. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Luke the Face Dickinson.
We're live. Right, method of loci is when you use landmarks or locations that you're familiar with to remember certain pieces of information. So you could think about things in your house, such as your bathroom being representing something you want to remember, your bedroom representing something else, your living room. Now what I'm going to do is show you it with my walk down the corridor to my tutor group in the morning. So I'm going to do components of skill related fitness. So CP1, when I walk past CP1 I always remember agility. Get to the dance studio, remember balance. Get to CP3, I remember coordination. Get to CP4, I remember reaction time, which brings me to my tutor group door. So now, if I go through it in my mind, CP1 was agility. I then walked to the dance studio, which was balance. I then came past to CP3, which was coordination. CP4, which is next door, was reaction time, and that's how I've remembered the components of skill-related fitness. So, an original revision technique. Think of a topic. So my topic is going to be the skeletal and the muscular systems. And all I'm going to do is, for every point I know about the skeletal and muscular systems, I'm going to write it on the green post-it. So, muscles work in pairs. Function is protection of vital organs. Bones attached by ligaments. Right, everything I know about the topic I put on one colour of post-it note. So eventually, hopefully, you'll end up with quite a few post-it notes with bits of information that you know. You just look after them for me. Right, then I want you to take a past exam question. So my question is, holding a balanced position is important in many physical activities. Give one static balance and explain how the muscles work to maintain this balance. So what I want to do is any relevant information that I know about this topic, I'm going to put under the question, because I'm using this to answer the question. Now the rest of it, although it's on that topic, is irrelevant to this question, so I'll put it to one side. Now, I move on to my second colour of post-it note. That question might have prompted some more information to come to the forefront of my mind. So, if by reading the question there's something else I need to do now, I'm going to do it. So, this question says, give one static balance. Okay? Let's do a stalk stand. And explain how the muscles work to maintain this balance. So I'll put a little bit more information on. Right. Keep going. Right. Now, I've got a question there, and I've used the information that I knew before I knew what the question was, and some information that's specific to that question that I didn't know straight away. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the mark scheme, and I'm going to see this information, does it meet the mark scheme? Oh, missed a bit. So what I'm going to do, anything that's on the mark scheme that I don't know, I'm going to put on a third colour of post-it note. So, forgot about isometric muscle contractions. Oh, I forgot to name the muscles. Quad and hamstring. Right. You know your job. Right. Now, I've got 3 tiered level of post-it notes for revision. My green ones is stuff that I knew already. My orange ones are relevant to the question, things that didn't really come to the forefront of my mind. And red things are things that I didn't really think of or I didn't really know. So when I'm revising, I know to prioritise my reds, because I didn't really know them. Then maybe I'll look at my orange, and then I'll just have a recap of my green. Have you been paying attention? Ah, he's alright, he's been using Brunts tube. Take 3. Right, the third method I'm going to talk about is narrative chaining. This is where you put the information you want to remember into a story and try and remember that story. For example, we had a big panic the other day in PE because we had a power cut. Miss Pass didn't know what to do and the office was locked. So she rung me and I had to run from the other end of school. My heart was beating and I was breathing really quick. Cardiovascular system were doing overtime. By the time I got here, my muscles were aching quite a bit. Shown quite a bit of endurance to get here because I'd run so far. Problem was, office was locked, so I had to get in through a window. Now, being a big fella, I had to be quite flexible to do this. But then, as I was getting in through the window, Mr. Atkin walked around the corner, so I had to show some speed to get through before he saw me. But in order to get through that quite high window, I had to show quite a bit of strength to pull myself up. Eventually I did make it through head first and managed to sort the power cut. And all was good. The end. Right, what I've done there is I've put the components of health related fitness into a story. So, we had the power for power cut. We had the heart and the lungs with the cardiovascular endurance. We had being tired muscles, muscular endurance. Being flexible to get through the window, flexibility. We had getting through the window quickly, speed, and we had pulling myself through the window with the strength. So they are the components of health related fitness.
Hello Year 11, here are my top 3 tips for revision. Number 1, find a quiet space to work. Turn off your Xbox. Number 2, use lots of colour to make colourful mind maps and notes in your books. Number 3, do lots of practice papers. See your teachers, I'm sure they'll be willing to give you more. Thank you.
One of the ways you could revise is by using your phone to record yourself reading out some of your revision notes and then adding it to an MP3 collection that you might have. You might want to do it by topic, you might want to do it by theme, and then actually listening it through on your walk into school or when you're asleep at night time, maybe try and listen to it. So that would get you learning the information that you need, particularly with case studies. That would be quite useful.
A good way to revise is if you're trying to remember a list of key words from a particular subject area or topic, write a list of all the key words, give them a read, and then turn the page over and see how many you can remember. For those of you who are old enough who can remember the generation game, such as an iron, a cuddly toy, a toaster, a Walkman, a holiday to Benidorm, a car.
Hi, here are my top tips for revision. Number 1, get somebody else involved. Get somebody else to help you. They can test you, they can give you feedback, and that will give you the motivation to carry on and repeat what you haven't learned already. Secondly, make your revision as active as possible. Make yourself some flashcards, some post-its, make dominoes, move things around and think. Revision does not consist of just staring at a piece of paper. Instead of thinking of it as revision, think of it as practice. That way you'll do something active. And thirdly and finally, don't spend too long on a revision session. 45 minutes is the most that you should do, and you should always make time for a break and time to do something that you enjoy in between sessions. Good luck.
So leading by example, I've prepared for this and keeping notes on my phone. So make sure you are proactive, that you get yourself organised, that you draw up a revision schedule. Make sure you include plenty of time for rest and sleep, as well as a little bit of fun. Make revision notes. So use lots of different colours, highlighters, different ways of making revision notes. Do spider diagrams, use cue cards. And also practice, practice, practice. Use past exam papers. Complete them, hand them to your teachers to be marked. Use mark schemes yourself and self-assess them. Be clear how and where and why you can gain marks. Thank you.
When you're revising, you want to really try and revise in a calm environment. So you need to find somewhere in your home or somewhere that you're familiar with where you can go in and sort of chill out and really focus on your revision. Try not to have any loud noises in the background or any sort of stimulus that might distract you, so you don't want it to be too hot, too cold. Any distractions like consoles or TV, you need to make sure they're out of that room at that time of revision, and that will really help you to concentrate on it.
Another top tip might be to read the difficult parts in another accent, and then you've got a good chance of remembering it. Things like, data must be kept safe and secure when being stored or transmitted by computing devices.
What accent is that?
The first one you can do at home is a concept table. So we look at doing 4 boxes, maybe on an A3 sheet. So firstly you do your keywords in one box. In the second box you do your case studies related to that theme. In the third box you do an exam question, and then the fourth box is any other information. Also, you can use post-it notes at home to highlight the key ideas that you're doing. Am I talking off task here now? Because I was meant to go back and do that in-class strategies.
Carry on.
Right, I'll carry on. Anyway, ignore that, but take on the table, okay? Also, in class, you can highlight in different colours keywords, and then you can go in another colour and highlight the case studies as well. That makes it easier for revision when you go back to your textbook, your exercise book, sorry. We'll get there eventually. When you go back to your exercise book, it's easier just to revise when you've got these different coloured points, so it's much more easy.
How would you have revised your lines for this?
How? Just improvise. Right, at home you can do revision through song. There's a number of YouTube clips, especially for geography, where we do Kung Fu Panda, or we do Tectonics Kung Fu Panda, and there's also Coastal Erosion Kung Fu Panda, and the link will be below the screen here. And that's it really. And also, sorry, yeah, what was I going to say? What other one was there? Post-it notes. Did we say post-it notes have been done?
I can't remember.
Right, anyway, if you want to do post-it notes, great idea. You can get different colour post-it notes, so you can do one colour for science, one colour for French, and just dot them around the world, around your room. So you're constantly exposed to these words or verbs or formulas. The list is endless. There you go.
Good.
Right.
Don't forget about the amazing website that Mrs. Harper's put on for Year 11 ICT students.
Mr. Ruston, have you got any science revision tips?
Yes, start now.
Brilliant.
I love it when a plan comes together. So hopefully all these tips that you've gained from our Crack 18 will help you prepare best for your exams. Remember, preparation prevents panic. Put all this together, plan your time effectively, and you'll be able to join the A-team.
get revising and don't be a crazy fool.